topic of history of the picnic. So bugun yana bir savol turini ko'rib chiqamiz. Fill in the gap, ya'ni o'rinni to'ldirish savol turini ko'rib chiqamiz demak. So let's start with it. E'tibor beradigan joyimiz one word only, ya'ni faqat bitta so'z qo'ya olamiz. Keyin title ga e'tibor berishimiz kerak bo'ladi. Changes in picnics. Xo'p, bu title bizga qayerdaligini topishga yordam beradi. Xo'p, in England deyapti. Bu ham juda foydali ma'lumot. Demak, Angliyada bo'lgan o'zgarishlarni topishimiz kerak. And also we have a number, year to be yildan berilgan. Demak, bu ham bizga yordam beradi topishga. Xo'p, let's take a look here. Another development in England in 1800s. Development bilan changes bir xil ma'noni anglatadi. Xo'p, davom etamiz. Picnics began to be held. What was more profound, picnics were adopted by the emerging middle class and moved outside. Moved outside. What began to be held outside. Demek bu yerda outside is the answer. So now let's continue. Well, picnics no longer usually included for entertainment. What caused this change is unclear, but the most likely explanation is that English simply applied fashionably French word to pre-existing practice without being aware of what it meant. One of the results was the music ceased to be. Ceased degani to'xtadi degan ma'noni anglatadi. Ya'ni ceased to be provided at picnics degani, ya'ni bu pikniklarda musiqa qo'yilishi to'xtatildi degan ma'noni anglatadi. So music stopped to be included. Second answer is music. For entertainment will become just rather plain open air meals to which people were invited by host. Hop, Angliyada bo'lgan o'zgarishlarni yozdik. Endi keyingisiga o'tsak bo'ladi. Demak, keyingisi in the US. Let's find that. So in decades which followed, form of picnic found its way to the United States as the only to be expected. Hop, we found it, United States, US. USA. So picnics were favorite activity for people living in. So let's see. As was only to be expected, it remained refined activity most popular with the middle class in cities. Ko'pchilik qiladigan xato bor shu yerda. Ko'pchilik middle class so'zini yozib qo'yadi yoki middle so'zini yozib qo'yadi javob sifatida, lekin bu xato javob hisoblanadi. Asl javob cities hisoblanadi. Chunki as you saw here, living in frazali fe'li bizga joy nomi so'ralayotganini ko'rsatyapti. Demak, javob bizda qanaqadir joy nomi bo'lishi kerak, qanaqadir guruh emas. Demak, shuning uchun cities to'g'ri javob hisoblanadi. So favorite activity, refined activity, most popular. Most popular, favorite so'zlari juda sinonim ma'noda kelyapti. Demak, Americans of picnics were different from those English artists. So we have to find artists, English artists and American artists. Amerikalik artistlar, ya'ni rassomlar bilan Angliyadagi rassomlarni taqqoslangan joyi kerak bizda. So let's look at here. Those still tinged with innocence, paintings of picnics by well-known American artists such as Winslow Homer tended therefore to contain fewer gently rolling fields than shown in English by English artists. Topdik demak, Angliyalik rassomlar bilan Amerikalik rassomlarni taqqoslayapti. Bu yerda yana bir common mistake bor. Ko'pchilik artist so'zini yozib qo'yadi bu yerda, ya'ni Amerikalik rassomlar deb qo'yadi. That's not true. E'tibor bersak, savol so'zida o'zi artist so'zi bor. Bitta savolda bitta so'zni ikki marta takrorlashga hojat yo'q. Shuning uchun bizga boshqa bir so'z kerak, and that is painting. So it's going to be American paintings. Let me erase that. American paintings of picnics. Different from, demak mana shu taqqoslash bo'lyapti. Fewer gently than deyapti. Demak bu taqqoslash bo'lyapti. Demak bu different degan ma'noni anglatadi. So let's move on to return to France. Indoor picnics were still preferred by members of mana bu yerda lekin guruh so'ralyapti. Members of deganda qanaqadir guruh nomi kerak bizga. Picnics to open air were less received by elsewhere. However, though restoration of the French monarchy was accompanied by the return of picnicking to France, the indoor version is still predominated, especially among aristocracy. So aristocracy bu yerda javob hisoblanadi, chunki bu guruh nomi qanaqadir o'sha boy guruh, boy aristokratlar guruhi nazarda tutilyapti bu yerda. Demak, aristocracy is the answer. So still preferred ma'nosida bu yerda predominated, still predominated, ya'ni haligacha dominantlik qildi bu mana shu guruh orasida. Demak, bu aristokratlar guruhi. So let's move on to the last question set. 20th century onwards, ya'ni 20-asrdan keyin. If we look at here, in general, until early 20th century, we found it, not until early 20th century. Xo'p, demak topdik. New kinds of meant that picnics countryside became more common. Demak, qishloqlarda qilinadigan pikniklar ancha ko'paydi. So outdoor picnics prevail over the indoor kind, particularly in England. Development of different forms of transport and the acceleration of social changes made the countryside accessible to the far greater proportion of population. So, answer is transport. Why development of new kinds of transport? Development of different forms, different kinds, new kinds. Development, new so'zlari ham o'xshash ma'noda kelyapti bu yerda. Kinds bilan esa forms so'zlari sinonim ma'nosida kelyapti. Demak, let's look at the next one. Designed especially for the use for picnickers. Picnickers were widely adopted, right? So let's continue. Before long, the popularity of picnic had grown so much that specialist picnic baskets were being produced for the mass market and their contents were becoming more standardized. So answer is, yes, you guessed it, baskets. Basket is the answer. Designed especially for. Baskets were specialist ma'nosi, ya'ni designed especially for ma'nolari bilan sinonim bo'lib kelyapti bu yerda. Ya'ni maxsus nimadir uchun ishlab chiqarildi, dizayn qilindi. Bu yerda esa specialist, maxsus debdi bu yerda. Demak, those are synonyms. Now, there is now greater in the food it is used for picnics. So, now greater. Ikkita muhim so'zlar bor bu yerda. Now greater. Now, let's look at here. Over the last 100 years, picnics have undergone still further changes, largely as a result of the international availability of the huge variety of food to be transported over long distances. Picnics will undoubtedly continue to evolve in the future. Shifting patterns of trade will almost certainly continue to change the foods we pack for the picnic. But whatever happens, one thing is certain: as long as there are friends with whom to share a meal, there will few things that pleasant as the picnic lunch. There is now greater in the food. Hope greater. Demak, greaterdan keyin bizga qanaqadir ot kerak bo'ladi yoki qanaqadir taqqoslanadigan so'z kerak bo'ladi. Undergone still further changes, largely as a result of the national availability of huge variety of food. Greater, huge. Hope qayerdan bildik? So variety is the answer for this question. So let's quickly wrap this up. Here are the answers and here are the analysis. Outside, music, cities, paintings, aristocracy, transport, baskets, and variety. And these are the quick analysis here.